The Dreaming Spanish method claims it can teach you fluency without having to speak, but does it actually work? After 450 hours of input, here's what I've discovered. Hey, what's happening? I'm Zay, and I've been officially on my Spanish learning journey for the past 100 days. After years of failed attempts, I came across Dreaming Spanish, and it promises that I could acquire the language by doing nothing but consuming comprehensible input. With 450 hours of input underneath my belt, here are my honest thoughts. Prior to Dreaming Spanish, I had a couple of hours of input underneath my belt, mainly from watching a few movies that I've already previously watched in English and just re-watched them in Spanish. So from that point, I would say I started out before Dreaming Spanish. I had roughly about I would say roughly about like 50 hours of input underneath my belt. Compare that to now, how I actually feel. My comprehension tremendously went through the roof. Like, I went from not being able to understand anything at all to actually being able to consume and watch some of my favorite shows and actually laugh at a few of the jokes um, here and there. So overall, I would say my comprehension skyrocketed from from when I began to up until this point. At this current stage of my journey, I still struggle to comprehend native speakers, especially when they're having conversations between each other or native content. If the content is not adapted for learners, it's it's really above my head. But I have been able to watch some dubs, so of some animes that I enjoyed. That of course I already watched it in English, so I'm already able to keep up with what's going on in the show. But I'm able to understand that. I say about like 50 to 60% of it. I'm still able to enjoy it. But as far as like being able to consume really fast paced as if I'm a native speaker, nah, I'm far from that point. So for the most part, the kind of content that I've really been enjoying, or I've really consumed to get to this point, is a lot of anime. Again, I started out with like I want to say Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Avatar, things like that. Shows that I already watched in English and already knew and understand the concept of the show, and I just watched it in Spanish to get my input. I'm actually going to make a video showcasing is exactly and breaking it down exactly how I got to 450 hours. The major challenge that I faced during this stage of my journey is still fighting the urge to translate everything that I hear in my head from Spanish to English and feeling though I'm not comprehending what's being said to me if I can't translate it. So that's one of the biggest challenges that I face, and able I'm slowly working my way out of that habit and just taking in the information and just understanding as best as I possibly can without having to actually feel as though I need to translate it to say, okay, I understood. I would be complete lie to say everything just been smooth sailing. There's plenty of times where I'm watching a show or watching something and I feel as though I don't understand anything and nothing I feel like nothing's really getting through. The way that I actually overcome that, which Pablo actually talked about, is just consume more input. I would when I'm really feeling low, I have no issues of going back to watching beginner videos, even some super beginner videos. Really just get my hours in. One, to get my hours in, and then two, to check my progress to see if I'm able to follow along and understand it even slightly better than I did before, from when I started. I would say my daily routine really hasn't changed that much. It's just been more so being more mindful of when I'm taking a break of and I'm watching a YouTube video and it's just so happened to be English. I just gotta get on myself and be like, yo, this is actually time that I could be using to get more Spanish in. Yes, I most definitely have. Just like anything you first starting out at or something new, you're gonna suck in the beginning. It's gonna be frustrating, but as long as you continue to do it and you put in the work every single day, you're naturally gonna get better. One of the things that I used to remind myself of this is when I started out doing jujitsu. Of course, never partake in a combat sport before, so everything is brand new, fresh, and truthfully, I sucked in the beginning, and just over time of actually showing up, just actually over time of actually showing up every single day and putting in the work, it just naturally got better. So anytime that I'm using the same, I'm using the same mindset that I take from doing anything or any other skill that I acquire or I would like to acquire. I'm using the same kind of mindset to go ahead and knock out this Spanish and understand and give myself grace and be like, yo, you're gonna have frustrating days. Every day is not gonna be just easy or just a breeze type shit, but just continue to show up and you just naturally gonna get better. So up until this point, I can be honest with you, I have not really consumed any podcasts. From this point on, I do plan on consuming more podcasts and getting more hours. As right now, my goal is set to 5 hours a day. So I've been getting 5 hours a day. Well, I've been trying to get 5 hours a day, really just watching videos. This way I can pick up on the word through context, facial expressions, and stuff like that. But um, from this point on, I'm going to be transitioning to more podcasts. And hopefully, by doing so, I'll be able to up my 5 hour a day goal to something a little bit higher, possibly about like between 8 to 10 hours. We're gonna actually see how that goes. We're gonna rock out for a couple of days, and hopefully all goes well, and I can really go ahead and speed run through this. At this current stage of my journey, it's still not recommended for me to speak or write yet. More so, just really just focusing on input and no output right now. So I don't have any plans on uh, speaking until I actually reach about between 800 to 1,000 hours and see how I feel. Like once I actually feel like I'm ready to start speaking and writing, I most definitely will be taking that leap. So I greatly appreciate you guys watching this video. Until next time, I'm gonna see y'all. All right, peace.